Hello and welcome to InVision Irving, your business connection. I'm Jolene DeVito at the headquarters of the Greater Irving Las Colinas Chamber of Commerce. We have some interesting stories to share with you today. It's 3D without the funny glasses. See the latest in copy machine technology at a new Irving business. Plus, the Convention and Visitors Bureau is celebrating a big anniversary. We'll look at its impact on the economy. That and more coming up. But first, our special focus. We're calling it the real deal, the boom in real estate here in Irving. Let's begin by talking residential. The city recorded a more than 30% increase in new home construction in the last fiscal year. Ashley Roberts toured one of the high-dollar homes on the market.
This is a 2009 custom Mediterranean built by Sanders. Right before you walk in, we actually have this open area in this courtyard.
The outside sitting area of this $1.1 million home in the lakes of Las Colinas is just one of the home's enticing features.
Well, on days like today, you can imagine sitting out here and enjoying this weather.
From the beautiful outside,
Why don't we go look on the inside?
let's go, to the warm and welcoming inside. This 3-year-old home has a lot to offer.
So we've got a large entryway, 2-story ceiling, limestone floors here. On the left, this is our study. You can see we've actually mixed the limestone and the wood. Then you've got ample shelving and storage and an additional storage closet back here. In here is our living room, 2-story beam ceiling. We've got a fireplace as well, and all these windows opening up to the lap pool in the backyard.
Justin Levitch has the sales pitch down. He leads a team of realtors at Coldwell Banker. They've been very busy over the past year.
Irving does a great job of attracting businesses, which causes so many residents to want to move here because of the central location and the booming economy here.
Many people are both buying and building new homes here in Irving. In fact, during the fiscal year that just wrapped up, the city issued permits for 418 new homes. That's about 100 more than a year earlier.
There's not a lot of other cities with attractive land that they can start building new properties on, and we've got that here in Irving.
Add up the value of all the new homes sold in Irving over the past 12 months, and it's $500 million. Big money that will positively impact the city.
So if someone builds a home in Irving and or purchases one, what is the ripple effect that it has on the immediate economy?
Well, the National Association of Realtors states that every time a home is built in the United States, $60,000 is injected into the local economy.
Levitch says the strong real estate market is evidence of an economy on the mend.
Definitely. It shows people want to move to Irving. Those are good signs for the upcoming future.
So take us on upstairs.
Okay, we've got a media room in here.
So it's your own movie theater.
Your own movie theater. This is where you watch the games or you watch the movies for family night.
An amenity like this media room can be a great selling point for buyers. Levitch says there's not necessarily a trend in what people want, but each has a specific need and wish list.
Whether they want to entertain or whether they've got a large family or they need a large backyard, that's one of the main things that they're looking for, and a floor plan that's going to work for that. So that's why we're seeing a big shift to some of the newer homes. Some of the older homes don't have floor plans that work as much for a 2012 lifestyle.
And regardless of if you're looking to live in luxury,
let me show you this amazing master bathroom.
Oh, wow.
This is a master bathroom for a king and queen. Look at how big this tub is.
or buy your very first home. People are building and buying at every price point.
In new construction, we've got garden homes here that are really around the mid-200s, and then some of these single-family homes like the one you're in that are going to go up into the mid-1 millions.
What kind of pool is this? This is lovely.
This is what we call a lap pool. It's a little bit smaller, so it's actually lower maintenance, but we still got the hot tub at the end, just in case you wanted to heat that up and turn the bubbles on.
Levitch says if you're thinking about buying or building, now is the time. And with Irving standing in the heart of the Metroplex, it is an ideal location.
So buy now. Homes are definitely on the rebound price-wise.
He and his team expect to stay very busy in the coming months.
I see an increase with what's going on in the real estate market, and as long as Irving keeps doing the right things to bring people here, I see really great things for the future of Irving.
Perhaps this beautiful property we've showcased might be the perfect home for you. Or maybe now you've been inspired to build the home you've always dreamed of. Ashley Roberts for InVision Irving.
Home foreclosures are also down year to year. CoreLogic says they dropped about 0.2 of a percentage point to about 1.5%. Nationally, the foreclosure rate is more than twice that. So that's the residential side. Now let's talk commercial. Alan Wood is Vice President of Jones Lang LaSalle Americas, and John Bonnot is the Chamber's Business Recruitment Director. Gentlemen, thank you both very much for coming here. Alan, let's start with the big picture. How is the commercial market?
Commercial market on a broad scale is recovering nationally. We see it a lot more here in the North Texas region, especially here in Las Colinas, where companies are expanding, they're growing, they're doing really well, which actually increases rental rates and makes everybody happy.
So, John, why is it so strong here in Irving? What's going on?
Well, I think the things that certainly our location, being in the metroplex, central of the metroplex, central time zone, next to DFW Airport, but even as importantly is our accessibility. We have, the new light rail having opened, the Trinity Rail, commuter rail, which connects Dallas and Fort Worth, and again DFW Airport and so forth. But we're just what we call a sweet spot in terms of the Dallas-Fort Worth metroplex. It's a very thriving marketplace, very well known, and again because of the corporate presence we have here too. So many Fortune 500 companies, Fortune 1000 companies with a presence here are headquartered here. And so it's what we call a safe decision in terms of corporate relocation and decision making.
Do you hear those selling points echoed in your work with your clients? What do they say?
I do. There's been a real focus in the last few years about the dark orange line coming through. That's a major selling point. Also, the 161, the George Bush, has really opened up this area to the entire metroplex. So our clients are talking about how they can now recruit as far south as Mansfield. They can recruit as far east as Garland. And so it makes the central location here just phenomenal as far as bringing good employees here, good amenities, great infrastructure in the city of Irving.
Always been a great location, but the accessibility, it's a different story now. It's so much improved.
It's radically improved, and then the accessibility to DFW is always a hot topic. So you can get anywhere in the country from this location all day long.
John, the Irving Chamber, describe for us how you're involved in the process. Do prospects call you when they're considering a move, or is it more recruitment from you? Probably a little bit of both?
Sure. Well, let me just share with you first, the City of Irving contracts with us to provide economic development services. So that's the marketing, the outreach. We're working with retention and expansion and so forth. But back to your question, it comes in a multitude of ways. A lot of our activity, a large portion of our activity comes through the brokerage community, Alan and his colleagues and cohorts and so forth, because they're out driving these projects, representing major corporate tenants, and so a lot of our, like I said, leads come through them. Some, there's some, or we self-generate ourselves. We have other allies like the Governor's Office of Economic Development projects that come through the state, looking at various metropolitan areas and so forth. So there's a drill down, and we get involved in that process as well. But the bulk of what we do is working with commercial real estate folks like that.
Phone rings a lot between offices back and forth.
Absolutely, yes.
A lot of communication.
You bet.
Alan, tell us about one specific client of yours, One Source VHR. What's going on there? Tell me about
One
that.
Source is a great story for the city of Irving. CFO called us, had an urgent problem. They were going from about 50 employees to 100.
Well, that's a good problem to have.
It's a great problem and very indicative of this region, with projections to be between 300 and 400 employees in the next 2 years. We looked at many suburban markets around town. They really honed in on Irving and Las Colinas because it offered them all the things that we just talked about. The infrastructure's here, access to DFW and Love Field, but also just an overall quality of life. It's the urban center here is truly the only urban setting in a suburban market. And so when we looked up north, we looked east, we looked downtown, we looked all over, they kept coming back to this is where they want to be.
Tell us about the company. What do they do?
Fast-growing technology startup in the HR and outsourcing business. Big technology component, big consulting component, and a lot of really good people.
That's great. John, anything else in the outlook for the future in your office that you could share with us today?
Well, I will tell you, we've just come off probably what I would call a banner year in terms of project activity that we have had our hands on, personal involvement in terms of job growth, in terms of investment in the community, and so forth. So it's been a great year, and we're already seeing the trend and the tracking moving forward for our current fiscal year, which began October 1. So I'm excited. I think we've got a great year in store. Another great year.
Gentlemen, it's nice to be talking about such bright prospects and such great news. Thank you both very much for joining us.
Thank you.
One deal recently confirmed involves some incentives from the city of Irving. VHA will relocate to a 300,000 square foot space and hire about 3 dozen new employees. The company is committing to staying here for at least 17 years. Beyond the economics, Chris Blake looks at another benefit to the city.
Thanks for coming out today.
Employees of VHA, Novation, and Provista are trading in laptops for paintbrushes and their business casual for jeans as the family of Irving-based companies puts on its 10th annual Community Day.
Today we're out here helping to paint the park, and we're doing pavilions, we're doing the fence, as you can see, and just doing everything we can to keep Irving beautiful.
It just helps us feel like we're part of the community. So it just helps to give a little bit back. So we're just thankful as employees to be part of a company that offers this kind of service back to the community.
VHA has been redirecting funds previously used for holiday parties to Community Day for 10 years now. This group was one of many spread out around the city and was tasked with painting a playground at Running Bear Park off Story Road.
We've been working with Keep Irving Beautiful for a number of years now, and it's a great relationship. We look forward. We're based here in Irving, so we appreciate the opportunity to give back to the city.
Irving will benefit from its relationship with VHA in years ahead because the company plans to relocate and expand in the city. Renovations are underway inside this building behind me on Highway 114, and employees expect to move in here next year.
And now therefore I, Beth Van Dyne, Mayor of the City of Irving, Texas, do hereby proclaim the week of October 28th through November 3rd, 2012 as a day of gratitude and celebration for 10 years of VHA Community Day.
Mayor Beth Van Dyne joined VHA employees at the Omni Mandalay later in the evening to honor the company's commitment to the city.
The city is really excited. VHA has a lot of opportunities in front of it, and there's a lot of different places that they could go. But they worked very well with the city, with the Chamber of Commerce, to find a building within the city that's going to fit their needs, and we were able to help them.
We've been in our current space here in Las Colinas for probably the last 12 to 15 years. And have outgrown that space, and so we're now moving across 114, staying in Irving, and taking down more space. So a very good thing, I think, for not only Novation, VHA, and Provista, but also for the city of Irving.
VHA, which changed its name in 1994 from Voluntary Hospitals of America, has been in Irving since 1980 and just signed on for 17 more years.
We'd like to see the city of Irving continue to grow, and our investments in Irving, we hope, will, in a small way, contribute to that growth.
It gives everybody a sense of security to know where we're going to be and not have to worry about are we moving into Dallas or moving further out.
And all day, people at both Running Bear Park and the Omni talked about the necessity of a symbiotic relationship between VHA and Irving.
The importance is also for us because we can't serve our customers and members if we're not aware of what's going on in our own communities.
This community has given a lot to VHA and its subsidiaries just by allowing us to be here and all the things that come with being a part of this community. So it is important to give back and to show that we appreciate being part of the community.
A community they'll now be a part of for the foreseeable future. Chris Blake for InVision Irving.
Moving on now, it's networking with an international twist. A delegation of Canadian business people came here to the Irving Chamber. Thomas Gandy learned more about the reasons behind the visit and how the city might benefit.
So you can see he's playing in the water, his hands in it completely.
Definitely do not try this at home. This bulb and socket are coated with a special product.
The products prevent the current to to make an arc, and that's the reason why he can do that without being fried.
Yeah, you have to be pretty confident in your product to do it like that.
Yes, I agree with you 100%.
Lubralab's sales manager says the product has many applications.
Yes. Street light, signal lights, and they can apply that for the, believe it or not, for air brakes.
He is part of a group of Canadian business people visiting the Irving Chamber of Commerce during a Texas trade mission. They want new markets for their products, and Irving wants to let the businesses know about the many benefits of doing business here, and even locating a plant or headquarters in the city.
What we want to share with the folks from Canada is the type of incentives that we have here in Irving. If they bring their jobs, that's one thing. If they live here, the incentives can grow, because then they're buying houses in Irving, they're adding more folks to the school districts.
The Quebec Ministry of Economic Development acknowledges there are some stereotypes to overcome. Of course, all Texans are not cowboys, and not all of Canada is frozen. At this meeting, they are talking about how to capitalize on the similarities, including a mutual focus on technology.
Actually, there's $8 billion worth of trade between Quebec and Texas. It's a big amount. Texas is Quebec's second largest trading partner after New York.
It's a headquarters for Canadian Space Agency.
This program is just one example of the city and chamber's pursuit of international business.
The International Trade Center and Sister Cities program is throughout the world. We have relationships with countries in Europe and Asia. We're looking at Central America.
The city of Irving focuses on all business development, recognizing its benefits to residents.
You need to invest in business so that you can have that return on investment come back and help the other residents that already live here. Because if you can grow your property tax, your sales tax, that obviously helps pay for police, fire, parks, libraries, those things that have become very important to our community. And more residential markets get constructed.
The Canadian delegation is learning a lot about Irving, and they seem to like what they hear.
We will be back. We hope that this is just one of several trips that we're going to be taking here.
So you can see we are making industrial lubricants.
Business deals could be starting here with a conversation.
We have a large part of Irving that is zoned for manufacturing.
And a bright idea. Thomas Gandy for InVision Irving.
The Irving Convention and Visitors Bureau is marking 40 years in the city of Irving. And if you wonder why that's cause for celebration, consider this. The Convention and Visitors Bureau says Irving gets more than 2.5 million visitors a year. They spend about $1.25 billion here and generate more than $38 million in tax revenue. Here are some reflections on how the Bureau started and what it adds to the city.
We were able to pull off Texas Stadium, and I think that gave us recognition of where Irving, Texas is. It became a recognition of, hey, we could probably do pretty good if we had a convention and visitors bureau. And I got involved in that, and when I was mayor, we actually brought it to fruition and got it formed.
We've got Dallas and Fort Worth right where you want them, is how the Convention and Visitors Bureau's new advertising campaign tells the public of Irving's location.
We think the campaign has been very effective. It's drawn about 2,000 inquiries for us.
I actually started in February of 1981. Part-time, and I believe there were probably 6 employees at that time.
The Mandalay Four Seasons Hotel, which opens Sunday, rises 27 stories high at the Urban Center.
I think about coming here 1991 when I did, and we had, 25 or 30 hotels and the movie studios. And the city all of a sudden just started, from our perspective, growing and growing and growing, and overnight we had 70 hotels.
It's amazing how far we've come. I've been in Irving for 27 years, and just seeing the transition from that time, but from the time when Dan Matkin thought of this years ago, 40 years ago. We open our arms to 19,000 visitors every day, people from all around the world.
It's grown a lot, and of course the building is the big new thing that we have, our Irving Convention Center. We are so proud of it.
I think people in the community have grown to recognize how important visitors are and the things that they make possible. Certainly this building, but things like the Arts Center that couldn't have happened if there weren't visitors to help fund it.
Granted, their job is tourism, marketing and meeting planners into businesses to have conventions here to fill our hotel rooms, but they do so much more than that. They have a pulse on the city, on the residents, on the businesses, and they are a true partner with our colleagues at City Hall to make sure that Irving is successful as a whole package.
Every household in Irving saves $461 a year because visitors are paying sales taxes, visitors are paying food and beverage taxes, all of those things, and because of that it goes to the benefit of the city's bottom line, and it provides services for every household.
I tell some people that I was maybe before my time in a lot of areas, it seems like, but looking past, I think it's really worked out well.
Congratulations and thanks for your looking forward vision to Dan Matkin and the City Council that was in place in 1972 and signed us into existence. It's been a great first 40 years and we're very excited about the next 40.
Congratulations to the Convention and Visitors Bureau for 40 great years of service.
Congratulations to our partners at the CVB. What a wonderful team you have. I wish you much continued success for another 40 great years.
It's been a great 40 years. Congratulations, Irving Convention and Visitors Bureau. Here's to another 40.
Congratulations!
The Bureau is always looking for new customers and knows that sometimes the best ideas come from people right here in Irving. At the first community conversation, representatives of several groups and businesses shared how the CVB has helped them. The goal is to find new economic opportunities for the convention center and the visitor industry as a whole in Irving. It is already a big driver.
We generate in the hotel about $15 million in taxes, tax dollars, roughly which about 7 million or so goes back into the city and the community.
Visitors came to Irving and spent over $300 million last year in our restaurants alone. Well, that's huge for our bottom line, right, Brian? Some of our restaurants, that makes up 60% of their total revenue of their whole business.
After those remarks, first-time convention center guests got a tour of the building. We have extended clips from that event available on our YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/The City of Irving. Also, as part of its nonstop sales pitch, the Bureau hosted the Texas Society of Association Executives for a party at the convention center. And just look at some of the attractions. The group is made up of meeting and event planners for some well-known organizations, so the Bureau wanted to give those guests ideas of the many ways the building can be used. Among the most successful public events held there is Comic-Con. In the past couple of years, organizers held a series of special weekends there. They've drawn between 10 and 20,000 people, and as you see, many dressed in the costumes of their favorite characters. When guests visit Irving, Convention and Visitors Bureau employees like to show off the city's unique attractions. Always capturing some attention, especially among the romantic types, are the Las Colinas gondolas. Ashley Roberts checked them out.
You are so beautiful.
Derrick Johnson loves to serenade. He is a master gondolier.
Gondola Adventures is a romantic love cruise getaway.
Venetian gondola rides on Lake Carolyn are one of the area's greatest attractions. So ICTN invited this newly engaged couple and asked the company to take us on a tour of the canals of Las Colinas.
It's beautiful. It's a wonderful experience on the canal, Mandalay Canal. Where else can you get a ride like this here?
It's romantic, it's fun, it's unique, it's an experience all its own.
For an hour long, riders take in the special Venetian experience.
It's going to be like going from Irving to Italy, so this is Little Italy in Texas.
Ideal for an intimate, romantic date night or any occasion.
You name it, birthday celebrations. The only celebration we don't support and specialize is divorce parties, but everything else is just lovely.
The larger gondolas accommodate up to 12 passengers, and the Venetian-style boats can hold up to 4. Johnson says riders are always impressed.
They love the experience. It's once in a lifetime because we offer so many amenities such as message in the bottles, proposals.
Dinner cruises and photography packages are also options. Gondolas operate year-round and passengers choose their ride times.
If your heart was set on 2 a.m., I'm sure our gondoliers would be hospitable enough to accommodate that for you.
What happens on the water, stay on the water.
These newly engaged lovebirds give their experience 2 thumbs up.
It can be just the 2 of us and being able to spend that time with each other.
It was good. I got to kiss her, so that's good for me.
So start planning that special occasion for a night of romance and serenades.
I definitely think it's a special occasion type of deal, but I think it would also be great for a little spontaneous date. Yeah, I think that, yes, hint.
Yeah.
As gondoliers explain it,
limousine on the street, gondola on the water.
An experience unique to Dallas-Fort Worth and even Texas, a taste of Italy in Irving.
Buonasera, my friends. We shall return.
Ashley Roberts for InVision Irving.
Now to some of the economic wins the City of Irving and Chamber of Commerce are celebrating. And we begin with the latest in copy machine technology. Chris Blake visited the grand opening of Novacopy.
Copiers, scanners, and fax machines are all standard office supplies, but imagine being able to reproduce a key or a shoe.
3D imaging is basically printing a 3D object. It uses special resins and plastics, basically, and it uses inkjet engines to basically print that prototype.
Novacopy sells machines that can copy 3-dimensional objects in addition to all the traditional office hardware, and the company recently made Irving a permanent home.
What might make us different is we are independently owned, and we are basically very flexible and responsive to our customers' needs.
Irving is the 6th branch for the Nashville-based company, which bought out a local Panasonic operation in 2005.
It's been a very good merger for us. Most of the employees that were here at Panasonic are still with the organization. We have employees dating back almost 20 years now.
Novacopy acquired a building on Highway 114 north of the airport, renovated it to fit its needs, and hosted a ribbon cutting to celebrate its opening.
They're having a wonderful opening today, and that shows their commitment to our city and to being a valuable member of our community. And I know that they are going to get involved in our city.
These are the base units that Novacopy will add custom components to. They'll then be assembled and tested in the setup shop before being sold out of the Texas headquarters.
It's one of the most fascinating companies that I've looked at recently.
One of their local customers is Texas Motor Speedway. Adam Smith with TMS says it would be hard to survive a race weekend without Novacopy.
Media comes in from all over the world, 140 countries, so we have to have the ability to work with everyone, and they're trying to get their stories out, and they're trying to get the interviews done, and they're trying to make all their copies. Starting lineups are going to change. Things change from day to day. We have qualifying on one day, so then you need to print your lineups. There's a lot that goes on that we really need their services to help us get the job done.
And Novacopy has adjusted to the Speedway's needs with ease.
They've definitely grown with us as we've grown as well.
State Representative Linda Harper Brown expects Novacopy to continue to grow.
The greatest benefit that it has for the city of Irving is the fact that it's going to create jobs.
The city and the Irving Chamber of Commerce both have been outstanding partners in getting us here. We're very happy to be here, very pleased to be here.
So what about that 3D copying? It sounds cool, but what's it used for?
Most production firms will model something first. They'll create a prototype, whether it's with wax images or wooden models, that sort of thing. And the 3D printing allows them to do it quicker and faster. It allows them to bring that in-house, and basically it's doing it in a couple of hours as opposed to having molds and that sort of thing.
There's the speed and efficiency that makes Novacopy one of Irving's brightest new tenants. Chris Blake for InVision Irving.
Irving also continues to attract new restaurants. Fish City Grill is among them.
We finally got open after 2 years of working hard to get this store open here in Irving, Las Colinas.
We get fresh fish in 6 days a week. We cut it in-house. All of our soups are homemade. All of our dressings are homemade. As we spoke about, we have a board that changes twice a day.
We chose Irving because it's just everything you want in the business is here. There's great daytime business, tremendous lunch crowd, here with the businesses and the offices all around us, the hospitals around us. It's just a great location. We just couldn't be in a better spot.
Any interaction I've had with the Chamber or with the City of Irving has been such a delight. They've welcomed us with open arms. They've answered all my questions.
The City of Irving actually have been marvelous to work with. Some of the things that we were able to get in here is a blade sign out there. They allowed us to do that, which is an old nostalgic sign that looks absolutely incredible and really helped the whole center out, we believe.
We have a great opportunity to be a big success here.
I'm just excited that we finally, through the city, have got the word out that, hey, we're open. Come on out and see us.
Time now for our good deed, a free way for parents to help further protect their children.
Oh, that's cute.
Children's Dental Center of Irving, along with New York Life and the Valley Ranch Association, hosted a free child ID event. Parents got cards for each of their children, featuring a photo, fingerprints, contact information, and other stats that could be useful in an emergency. The process took less than 5 minutes for each child, but organizers say it could bring about important benefits.
This really is a community event that we hope will benefit all the families. In the event of an emergency, families will have their child's information readily available, which on an ID that includes a picture, their height, their weight, their date of birth, their parents' information.
A few of the youngsters also picked up toothbrushes to promote dental health. That event was held at the Valley Ranch Association office. Thanks for watching this edition of InVision Irving. Remember, you can see updates on upcoming events by visiting irvingchamber.com. I'm Jolene DeVito. We'll see you next time.